So warm welcome to Israel Africa.
Hello dear, welcome to Israel Africa.
Hello and a pleasant welcome to another edition of Israel
Hello and a warm welcome. Thanks for joining us. You are on Star Television, Channel 21. This is News on Africa and the world with me, Janet Mube Zaiza. Starting today is in Nigeria with a report that says an airstrike by the Nigerian army targeting bandits that has left 7 children dead and 5 other wounded by mistake in the Maradi region of southern Niger, a local government told AFP on Sunday. This report tells us more.
An airstrike by the Nigerian army targeting bandits has left 7 children dead and 5 others wounded by mistake in the Maradi region of southern Niger, a local government confirmed Sunday. The governor said that the parents were attending a ceremony while the children were probably playing when the airstrike hit them. He believed the plane was targeting armed bandits in the border area, but missed their target, hitting Nachade instead. Several municipalities in the Maradi region are seriously affected by the violence of heavily armed gangs from Nigerian states of neighboring Katsina, Sokoto, and Zamfara. In 2018, Niamey reinforced military patrols along its border with Nigeria to prevent the incursion of these gangs, which carry out assassinations, kidnappings for ransom, attacks on traders, and raids on cattle, which they then lead into Nigeria.
According to a report which says Zimbabwe's leading opposition figure, Nelson Chamisa, drew thousands of cheering supporters on Sunday to his first political rally since forming a new party weeks ago. As the country gears up to elections that had been postponed due to COVID-19, Nelson formed the Citizen Coalition for Change Party in January, making a break from the country's long-time opposition party, the Movement for Democratic Change, or MDC. Here is more of the story.
Zimbabwe's leading opposition figure, Nelson Chamisa, drew thousands of cheering supporters on Sunday to his first political rally since forming a new party weeks ago, as the country's gear up for the elections that has been postponed due to COVID-19. Chamisa formed the Citizens Coalition for Change Party in January, making a break from the country's long-time opposition party, the Movement for Democratic Change, or MDC, initially steered by the long-time opposition leader, the late Morgan Tsvangirai.
You can capture the leaders, you can never capture the people.
You can give them expensive gifts, but ordinary Zimbabweans are not willing to be dragged back until there is change in Zimbabwe. Many of his supporters wore the new party's yellow t-shirt and hats, abandoning the red color associated with the MDC. Chamisa further assured his new supporters of victory in the upcoming election.
One declaration there with Triple C is the next government in Zimbabwe.
One declaration is that CCC is the next government in Zimbabwe. I am sure you agree with me. Zimbabwe, do you agree with me, right? The 44-year-old lawyer and pastor has lost disputed presidential election in 2018 to President Emmerson Mnangagwa, and the country's constitutional court threw out his challenge to the result.
Ethiopia began generating electricity from its mega dam of Blue Nile on Sunday, a milestone in the controversial multi-billion-dollar project. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, accompanied by high-ranking officials, toured the power station and pressed a series of buttons on an electronic screen, a move that officials said initiated production. Here is more of the story.
Ethiopia began generating electricity from its mega dam on the Blue Nile, a milestone in the controversial multi-billion-dollar project. The Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, accompanied by high-ranking officials, toured the power station and pressed a series of buttons on an electronic screen, a move that officials said initiated production. Abiy described Sunday's development as the birth of a new era. As you can see, this water will be generating power while flowing as it previously flowed to other countries like Sudan and Egypt. Unlike the previous rumors that say the Ethiopian people and the government are damming the water to starve Egypt and Sudan. The Grand Ethiopia Renaissance Dam is said to be the largest hydroelectric scheme in Africa, but has been at the center of a dispute with the downstream nations like Egypt and Sudan ever since work began in 2011. The $4.2 billion dam is ultimately expected to produce more than 5,000 megawatts of electricity, more than doubling Ethiopia's current output. Only one of 13 turbines is currently operational, with an installed capacity of 375 megawatts. The second will come online within a few months, and the dam is currently expected to be fully completed in 2024.
And now in Benin. The president of Benin, Percy Talon, inaugurated an exhibition on Saturday showcasing 26 rural treasures returned by France last November. The items on display to the general public from Sunday were returned nearly 130 years. They were stolen by colonial forces. The exhibition is being held on the ground of the presidential palace in the capital, Cotonou. This report tells us more.
The president of Benin, Patrice Talon, inaugurated an exhibition on Saturday showcasing 26 royal treasures returned by France to Benin last year. The items on display to the general public from Sunday were returned 130 years after they were stolen by colonial forces. The exhibition is being held on the grounds of the presidential palace in the capital, Cotonou. The items were taken from Abomey, capital of the former Dahomey Kingdom, located in the south of present-day Benin.
Moving now to Somalia, a report says at least 15 dead and 20 wounded in the result of a suicide attack at a crowded restaurant in the center of the Somalia on Saturday. According to the authorities, the victims were mostly civilians. Extremist group Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack. Here is the detail.
At least 15 dead and 20 wounded is the result of a suicide attack at a crowded restaurant in the center of Somalia on Saturday. According to the authorities, the victims were mostly civilians. Extremist group Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack.
You're still watching news around Africa and the world here on Star Television Channel 21. Continue watching and we'll be right back with more stories.
So warm welcome to News Around Africa.
Hello dear, welcome to News Around Africa and Star Trek.
Hello and a pleasure to welcome to another edition of News Around Africa.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're with News on Africa and the world here on Star Television Channel 21. US President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin had agreed in principle to a summit over the Ukraine crisis. The office of French President Emmanuel Macron said, so long as Moscow does not invade Ukraine, in a statement released early on Monday. The Elysee Palace said Macron has pitched both leaders on a summit over security and strategic stability in Europe. President Biden and Putin have both accepted the principle of such a summit. The statement said, stressing the such a meeting would be impossible if Russia invaded Ukraine, as Western nations fear is its intention. This report tells us more.
Reason to believe the Russian forces are planning to and intend to attack Ukraine.
On Friday, Joe Biden stunned many of the U.S.'s allies by categorically stating that Vladimir Putin had made up his mind to invade Ukraine in the coming days. And on Sunday, the president convened a meeting of his National Security Council to discuss the situation. Ahead of that meeting, the U.S. Secretary of State reaffirmed that despite the president's announcement, diplomacy was still an option.
Until it's settled, until we know that the tanks are rolling, the planes are flying, and the aggression has fully begun, we're going to do everything we can to prevent it. But we're prepared either way, and we're prepared with a response that will have massive consequences for Russia if it actually carries this through.
Blinken said he hoped a forthcoming meeting this week with his Russian counterpart would address both preventing war and addressing mutual security concerns for the U.S., Europe and Russia. The Russian and Ukrainian ambassadors to the U.S. were also on the Sunday talk show circuit. Anatoly Antonov denied any invasion of Ukraine was planned. He said Moscow's priority was the implementation of the Minsk Agreement, which was designed permanently to stop the war in Ukraine's east by, among other things, giving the region some autonomy.
The United States, it's very easy to stop such crisis. You have to persuade Kyiv to fulfill Minsk Agreement. That's all.
The Ukrainian ambassador said whether Russia invaded or not, her country was already at war, but still held out the possibility of a diplomatic solution.
We are calling not only on aggressor, which is Russia, but also on all of our friends and allies to get together and use every opportunity to still deter Russia from invading.
Hanging over the discussion, as always, the US's past declarations in the run-up to war.
How confident are you, given what's happened in the past with Afghanistan, with Iraq? Are you absolutely confident in the intelligence you're seeing now?
We have high confidence in the things that we're looking at, of course, you know, in terms of being able to predict exactly what's going to happen going forward. You never can.
The French say that the summit agreed to in principle by the US and Russia won't just be about Ukraine, but about security and strategic stability in Europe as a whole. The White House says it was always committed to diplomacy as long as there was no invasion, but added, as far as it was concerned, it was still seeing preparations for a Russian assault very soon. But that's less specific than the president was on Friday. Shihab Rattansi, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Wrapping up today's edition of News Around Africa and the world here on Star Television, Channel 21. It's with sport. Peter Utaka is still the talk of the town. The 39-year-old Nigerian striker who has been exiled to Asia for the past 10 years is having a ball in the land of the rising sun. Here is more of the story.
In Japan, newly promoted side Kyoto Sangash started off their 2022 J-League campaign with a 1-0 victory over Urawa Red Diamonds. Nigerian Peter Utaka scored on the 49th minute, the only goal of the game. The 38-year-old former Super Eagle has been playing in Asia for 10 years now and has scored over 20 goals in 2 seasons with Kyoto.
These are all the stories making news on Africa and the world for today. Many thanks for watching and continue to stay with us for the best in television viewing. See you back here tomorrow. I have been your news anchor, Janet Mbezaiza. Have a wonderful day.
So warm welcome to News Around Africa.
Hello dear, welcome to News Around Africa and Star.
Hello and a pleasure to welcome to another edition of News Around Africa.